about LinkedIn or not much about LinkedIn. For people who already are doing LinkedIn but don't get the numbers, and very specifically for owners, for business owners who want to build a business that runs on systems rather than your time, which is the beauty about social media in general, because you're basically building a 24/7 sales machine. So somebody who is constantly presenting you, so to speak. And yeah, if you look back 10 years or so, or even 20 years, let's say, this would have been unthinkable of, because it's such a cool thing. And the idea is that you need to understand your ICP very well. If you already have a running business, that is going to be obvious. You know who your ideal customer profile is, meaning what's their role, what's their industry, what is the specific pain or the specific pains, mainly it's plural, and why are they buying? So what is their trigger to buy? Because if you know that, then you probably also know what your offer should be, or at least you go into the right direction as to how to build your offer properly, because you want to deliver a clear outcome. So it's not like I'm selling you X amount of posts per month. It's really about a clear outcome of I help you grow your authority on LinkedIn, for example, right? Then, yeah, ideal customer profile, ideal customer persona, persona is a shorter word for ICP, yes. Then the mechanism that actually helps people to get that outcome, and having social proof also really helps if you already have a few clients that have been using your solution. And then once you have these two things, then you can optimize your profile for it. You can make sure that your profile, which is the landing page on LinkedIn, so to speak, is optimized for your ICP to promote your offer. And that's really a really powerful conversion layer for you. And you can, what's really important is that you have a clear call to action on your profile. Because the interesting thing is there are a bunch of studies showing that if you have a call to action, the likelihood of people reacting is multiplied. Like I think it's a multitude of percentage. So it's not like it's a few more, it's more than double or triple as many people are going to actually interact with you if you have a clear call to action. And then when you have that, you can build your content. Okay, so we're going to look into how to distribute, what the consistency should look like. And the beauty about content is that it is trust building. Okay, so this is the backbone. Every tactic maps back to one of these 4 foundational steps. So it's really just these 4 steps, and you shouldn't skip any of them. I mean, you can start with content without having an ICP or an offer, just generic content, but then you will also get people who are not going to, in the end, buy your product, very likely. Okay, so that's something to consider. So let's look at the ICP a little more. So what's really important is don't target everyone. That just doesn't work, no matter what you're doing. If you're trying to target everyone, I mean, there's toilet paper, right? You can target everyone if you're selling toilet paper. But usually we don't sell toilet paper. We sell different things, right? For example, services. Not everybody will buy our services, right? It's very specific people who have the biggest value from getting our services or products. And these are the people that we want to cater our product and our messaging towards. So, for example, US B2B agency owners, 10 to 15 staff who need more inbound leads without hiring SDRs. That could be a statement here. That could be based on the ICP. So the ICP are B2B owners who have a certain amount of staff and who want inbound leads. So this is not even super niche. This could be even more niche, but B2B agency owners is fine, or it could be B2B marketing agencies, or it could be whatever, right? So this really will really help you to optimize your content for it. So you need to have the role. So are you looking for the COO? Are you looking for the founder? Are you looking for, I don't know, the CTO or whatever? Who's the person that gets to buy into your product or your solution? Then you need the context. So is it going to be SMBs? Is it going to be a company that's in scaling phase, or is it going to be enterprise? Then what are the core pains, and why should they buy now? So really good triggers are, for example, new founding round. They missed their targets. It's the new year. There is a new tech coming out, some new solution that came out, and now everybody knows that they need to change. Maybe a new law came out, and now you need to, like everybody needs to make a change in their, I don't know, like governance or whatever. Then that's a good time to sell because now they have a lot of pressure. So then once you have that, you can build this formula. Okay. So can you say your solution in one formula in one very simple statement, which is built like this? So you think of the ICP, you think of your outcome, the mechanism, and the pain that you are that your solution avoids. Okay. For example, I help ICP achieve outcome via mechanism without pain. So, or I or we, if you're a team, we help B2B agencies book 8 to 12 qualified calls a month via LinkedIn content and warm DM system. No ads needed. So this is what the structure looks like, right? The ICP is B2B agencies.
Can I interrupt you for a second, please? Are you? It seems to me that you're presenting something, but what is coming on the screen is you talking, not the presentation. Are you?
I think it's something? Only you. We all see it, at least on my end. So maybe log out.
Yeah, I can see the presentation and the presenter in different screens.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to log out, log in again.
So it should say offer clarity at the top. Step 2, offer clarity. Is that what you
got it? It's a different view. It's a different view. Got it.
Okay. I hope you still enjoyed watching my face all the time.
No. I'm listening. That's why I was like, I was listening, and then there's like it seems there's a presentation, but for some reason on my screen it's showing only one, which is.
I had the same issue. I had the same issue, Mo. So you're not alone.
Okay, you said it. So now is everybody seeing my screen now? Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think again, this is a feature of Microsoft. You can, if Denis is using the inside presentation, so you can move in the slides without following Denis. So that would be the case.
Okay. So now that everybody sees me, hopefully also the ones that didn't turn on their camera, and yeah. So coming back to the offer, so you should build something like this, because the beauty about this statement here is what you can use as your slogan on your LinkedIn profile. Okay, because when people see your content, when you are posting or when you are commenting on other people's content, this is what people see. So they see a portion of it. Okay, they don't see the whole thing. They see the whole thing on your website, on your LinkedIn profile. They don't see the whole thing when they are in your commenting or section or so. They just see the beginning. Let me just see if I can easily show you what I mean by this. Just a quick one.
And you're referring to the headline, right?
Yeah, that's your headline / slogan. So let me just quickly stop sharing and share a different window. It should be this one here. So here, for example, you see this here at the top, advisor to high-performing leaders, exposing the invisible system that. Okay, so that's the slogan that you should optimize based on your ICP. All right. Or here, oh, well, that's the German statement here. Focus on 20% that move to 80%. That's a non-statement. That's a bad example of a bad slogan, because it's like, who is this for? Who are you helping? Like, I understand Pareto, the 80-20 rule, but who is this for? Then privacy engineer expert. This is more for people who are who have a job or who want a job. So this is not ideal for if you're trying to sell a service or a product. Okay, so you should always look at what are the what is the target audience that you're going for, and what is the solution. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Just a second. Let me share. Now, once again, I never
have your hand raised.
I never used this tool.
Yeah. So quick question. So I think at my past company, we end up building a separate account. I know LinkedIn doesn't allow it. We had a separate account because I wanted to delink my own profile to give a feeling that we are a large company. We were getting bigger slowly, but I didn't want to go as an individual. What is a recommendation for a that's my still my new feel. Like I wanted to give a feeling of a larger, at least 50 plus people company. Eventually I will get there. So should I still use my own profile or something else?
So depending on what you want to do with your LinkedIn profile, I would recommend to almost always recommend to use your personal profile, unless you want to eventually sell your company, for example, or you want to really separate your personal experience and your personal, what you personally share with what your business does. Why am I saying this? It's because LinkedIn is pushing personal content a lot more than it is pushing business content. So if you have a business page and you're posting on a business page, that's a lot tougher to build up that business page, which is why you very often just see business pages have like 200 followers or like 50 followers, which are the employees of the company mainly. So that's why it's not recommended in my opinion, unless you really want to focus on that and like build that out. I did build a German business page up to 8,000 followers in a year, so it is possible for sure. But at the same time, I built my my English profile by like 100,000 followers or so, like my personal profile. So it might also be because of language, but still, I would definitely say that there is a multitude, like a multiplier of at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4. And then there's another thing that you need to consider, and that is if you are writing to somebody. So let's say you want to DM and want to actively sell to other people, then doing it as a business has drastically less conversion rate, or a drastically worse conversion rate, rather than doing it with a personal account where it's an actual human trying to contact you, right? So that's the statement that you should optimize. Like this is how you can optimize for conversions, because then people come more like, well, they come to your profile more likely, which is what you want to achieve, right? So yeah, Mo, what's your question?
Does that when you recommend marketing through your personal profile versus a company, does it matter who your ideal customers are? Because sometimes you have, let's say, when we talk about business to business, you
Yes.
can target small and mid-sized businesses, and in a small and mid-sized business, your personal branding will fly fine. But what about if you're targeting large companies that typically in their sense they discount a person? They're like large companies, they deal with large vendors. You want to go swim with the sharks, but now if you present yourself as a personal profile, they might overlook the value you bring. Do you have any?
That's a very good question. I would love to give you a great answer to this, but I personally don't have enough experience with enterprise level customers.
Okay.
So I unfortunately can't give you like a good answer to that. My personal feeling is that in the end, you're still going to talk to people, right? You're still talking to humans. And that's why I would prefer to do a human. But one thing that I need to add, and that is that you always want to focus on one thing with your profile. So you don't want to sell 5 different things with your profile. You want to focus on one particular solution for one particular target audience. Okay, you don't want to do 5 different things, because otherwise you're not serving anyone. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So let's look at the profile optimization. So we just talked about the headline, right? This was the slogan that I was talking about. And then your banner image, it should have one clear promise and one simple call to action. Okay, nothing generic. So what people very often have is in their banner, they just have like, I don't know, a beautiful image of the sea or of the mountains or something like that. That's beautiful, right? But in the end, if you want to convert people into clients or into maybe a job or whatever, you need to say what you have to offer and what they should do. So what they should do could be visit my profile or join my newsletter, or not profile, my website, or join my newsletter, or set up an appointment, or book me for a speaking gig or something like that. Okay, so that's what your banner image should be. Then the about section. So that's where you have a story, where you can put a story. So the structure usually should be, you have a problem, or it was a big problem. Maybe your client has a problem that your ICP always has this kind of problem, and then you show the solution. So the solution was X, and then how we achieved it was methodology, and then you show some proof. Okay, this is what we did for a client ABC, and these are the results that they got, and then you have a CTA. Okay, call to action would be contact me, or like set up an appointment on Calendly, visit my website, register for newsletter. So same thing as we had here with the CTA. Then there is this featured section, and many people don't have that activated. So it's something you can set up on your profile, and it's called featured section. And there you can specifically position elements that you want there to be there. So you can have many there. I'm not sure what the limit is, but you can have 10, 15, whatever. My recommendation is to have at least 3. And the 3 that you should have is a case study, your offer, and a start here post, or some, maybe even like your biggest post that you know generated leads for you. Something that your target audience really understands and really appreciates. And then obviously we have the basics that you always need to consider. So good headshot, clear location, clear contact info, custom URL, so that when people are in your profile, when they click the visit my thing or visit my website or contact me, that it's easy. Okay, make it as easy as possible. So you have premium. Previously we tried others. So yeah, LinkedIn Premium gives you the option to have a custom button, even not just a custom URL. So that's the biggest difference I see there. Obviously, other than that, it's good for direct outreach, and it also shows that you're a real person. Usually, bots don't get LinkedIn Premium, so yeah, I think you should be good with the premium account. Then content, right? So we talked about the profile. We talked about how you optimize that, right? Based on your ICP and your solution that you're delivering. Now let's look at content, because what we did before was for when people come, that they are very likely to convert, or when the right people come, that they start converting. Okay. Now what we're looking at, how can we get people to your profile? Because without traffic, all of the optimization on your profile is worthless. But without a proper profile, all of the content is worthless as well. So I have plenty of I talk to plenty of people who get thousands of people on their profile, but the profile doesn't even say what they do. Okay, so they obviously have a title, and then they have like the past work history, but it doesn't really convert people, right? So they are literally wasting their time creating the content by not giving people a clear next step. So what could content look like? And here, my recommendation is consistency goes over intensity. So even though you might have like an amazing post every now and then, it's better, especially now, LinkedIn is pushing more and more new content. So it's better to post more than just once or twice a week. I would go for 5 posts a week. If you can do, you can, if you have the time, or if you want to do it, you can also do 6, 7, or even 14 posts like I do. Like we post twice a day, but that's because we do these visualizations, and I can go more over that, or I will go more over that in a bit. So then there are different types of content that you can do. Okay, so you can upload educational content where you actually teach people something. Okay, then there is the trust building content. So for example, your client success stories, or something like your personal why it is that you're doing what you're doing, or like some big problems that you had in the past that you overcame. Then a broad post is something that is like a super high level post that is not very specific to just your audience, but It should be within reach of your audience, so to speak. It could be a high-level industry trend or on a contrarian take on your industry. Okay, everybody in your industry says A, but I am convinced that B is better. So that would be a contrarian take, for example. And that's a post that tends to get a lot of impressions because a lot of people are going to interact with it because they are certain that A is the better option. And now they're going to comment, and that's really helping to push your post in the algorithm. Okay, the algorithm wants people to interact with the platform, because when more people are on the platform for longer, on LinkedIn for longer, LinkedIn is making more money, or Microsoft is making more money. And that's what this whole thing is about, right? It's about getting our attention. So we are basically creating attention for LinkedIn and at the same time creating attention for ourselves. Then how to, so it could just be a technical tutorial, how things work, a demo. So the how-tos and educational could be very similar, but it's not, doesn't have to be exactly the same thing. There are many different ways how you can teach something to someone. And then there's social proof, where you can, for example, take a screenshot of or a snapshot of a thing that you achieved that was very good, or some reflections over the weekend, or you were at an event or something like that. And the recommended mix, I've been playing around with this a little bit, but I personally think broad content, even though it doesn't bring you the right people directly, not only the right people, it's definitely helping you to get more people overall, and therefore get also more people that are the right people for you. So your ICP, so to speak. And then you're converting them with your educational content into a little more like they start to trust you more, you build authority, and then in the end, that's when you have to put your trust in conversion content. So for example, the conversion content could be either the personal story, that can be something that converts them because they have been following you for some time, and now they see that that you have something in your, they see your why, your motivation to do the work, and they resonate with your why. That's why they want to work with you, and that's the kind of thing that is really interesting. So you could have posted for like 6 months or so, and then in month 7, that's when, or in month 6, let's say, somebody finally decides to book a meeting with you and purchase from you, because they've been following you for so long, but they weren't in the right state to purchase, or they didn't trust you fully yet. And then you posted something about, I don't know, like why you even started your business. And then they're like, okay, yeah, I trust this person now. I want to go and talk to them. Okay. And now, how can you repurpose your content? Well, maybe you have some Zoom calls that were very meaningful, and there were some short clips that you can get out of it, and you can post them. That's something that can work. Then maybe you have some really cool SOP in your company where you say, hey, we're very proud of this and we want to share it. Then you could share it as a carousel. Or you have a very big client win. These are very powerful. So if you have client wins, they can really go really strong. Obviously, you have to follow a certain structure in order for that client win to be appealing to be consumed, because you cannot just say, hey, client A achieved X. That's it. You actually have to go through the story. Like, yeah, we had a client had all of these problems. They tried all of these things already. Then they finally found us, and we helped them to achieve the success that they have now. Okay. So Asif asks, if you post too much, will LinkedIn suppress you and others may think you are a spammer? Well, it really depends on what you consider too much. I've been experimenting with 3 posts a day, and that felt like too much. 2 were good though. So at least that's the experience that I made. But in the end, it really depends on the quality of your post. If you can post 3 high quality posts a day, where it's really appealing and meaningful for your audience and for people on LinkedIn, then I don't see any problems why that wouldn't work.
I want to ask a follow-up question here. So
yeah,
yes, if I could do 2 good, very good, valuable ones, then fine. But I'm still experimenting. I'm not sure that they are that valuable. Some of my posts get like 1,000, some 2,000 impressions, and some just get 150 impressions. So
Mhm.
if I keep on doing of the ones that do the 150, and once a week I get the 2,001 or 3,001, will I be suppressed or not?
So the beauty about LinkedIn, the LinkedIn algorithm is that it treats almost treats every single post like a new chance. Okay. So obviously, if you burned any chance by just delivering super poor quality content, then it's going to be tougher. So you do, from what I understand, there is a like some sort of score in the background that you have for your profile, but at the same time, if you deliver a really good content piece, even though your score might be poor, it will do well. Okay. At the end of the day, they want people's attention. If your post gets a lot of people's attention quickly, meaning in the first hour of the post being released, then it will be pushed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So then, about
sorry, Dennis,
algorithm.
I think Coach Mo has his hand raised.
Oh yeah, Mo, go ahead.
Just a quick question on this, the previous slide. I like how you laid the 5 days with 5 different purposes. Now, in terms of CTA, how frequent do you do a CTA on post? Like, for example, you still do CTAs on educational and broad, or you pick certain things to do your CTAs on?
So the CTA should, if possible, be congruent with the content itself. So if the content is about candy, you shouldn't be selling like steaks or whatever, right? Like just from that point of view. But overall, generally speaking, if you are trying to get people away from LinkedIn, your posts tend to perform worse. Okay, so if you have a call to action that is not something like comment underneath or leave a like or follow me or like something around those lines, send me a message, then they tend to perform like if you send them to, let's say, a website or whatever, or to your LinkedIn profile, those posts tend to perform a little worse because LinkedIn wants people to stay on their platform. But if that is your call to action, then it's your call to action, right? You still need for people to go over. I mean, obviously, you can make the funnel a little more complex, so you send people on your profile, so then for them to book or to send to click on the link, that can work as well. There are many different ways how you can convert traffic. So I used a bridge funnel in the past, which was basically a 10 to 15 minute educational video, which was at the same time a sales video, which performed pretty well in terms of converting people because it had an appealing, like the sales copy was very appealing. The outcome that I was promising was very appealing, so people were clicking on it.
Okay, and you sort of like you're making it seem like as if you buried the CTA inside the video, so it's not like you have an external link or something like that.
You can have multiple CTAs, right? So depending on like the CTA on your profile, on your content piece could be like leave me a DM, and then when people write you a DM, then you start the conversation. That could be one CTA. Another CTA could be go to my website. Then it's a very different story. But then if you send them to your website, then on the website you can have another CTA, buy my product, for example.
Okay.
Right.
So thoughts about 2 CTAs per week and more than that is like forceful sales pushing. What are your thoughts?
I think you can have a CTA on every post, but
and it's not pushy, or it's not you're not in people's face and all these things.
So I would recommend maybe 2 CTAs per week that go outside of LinkedIn. But other than that, use the CTA to push your profile itself, meaning to push the content. Something like, hey, I usually hear from people A, but maybe you have a different opinion. Please let me know in the comments. So when people then interact with your post and they comment, that's a sign for LinkedIn that this is a relevant post. So that makes it a lot more likely to be here pushed by LinkedIn. So
That's
that
smart.
that
Yeah,
brings
that's
us to the LinkedIn algorithm. Okay, so that's really good. So something that's really important: platforms don't care about virality. So virality is what everybody wants. Yeah, make this post viral, whatever. But in the end, it's all about retention. It's attention and retention. So the platform wants people to stay on your post or on their platform, and your post is just a vehicle for achieving that. Okay, so they push content that keeps valuable users on the app longer. Serve the platform's goal, the platform serves yours. So that means just create good content, and LinkedIn is more likely to push it. So the very most important thing is going to be relevance. So is your post relevant? And relevance is something that changes over time, right? So if some big news came out and you post about it first, the post is very relevant. If 20 other people have posted about it in your circle already, then it's probably not as relevant anymore. Okay, just as an example. Then they also try to find the right people for your post. So that's something that algorithms are quite good at. So they don't want to send the wrong post. Like they don't want to send like, let's say, meat ads to a vegan. Okay, so if somebody is a vegan, they wouldn't care about meat ads, right? So just to make it very, very placative, very simple. So then the most important thing is dwell time. So did people click to see more? And how long did they stay on the post? So dwell time, session depth, like did they stay on LinkedIn after they consumed your post? So it's really interesting. So somehow you are now responsible for people staying on LinkedIn. But it's really like, did people, for example, if your post is the last one people saw and then they left the platform, that's a sign for LinkedIn that your post is probably not so good, because they want people to stay on the platform, right? So if your post is like, hey, leave LinkedIn now, probably LinkedIn is not going to push it very much, right? So then who's engaging and are they relevant to the topic niche? So let's say you are posting again about meat, but then there are a bunch of vegans who are liking it. Then it could be either because it's a hate post and people want to just be super angry underneath your post and comment, but usually it's not ideal. So what LinkedIn would try to do is to obviously get the right people on it, and then the algorithm could be confused. So who am I sending to him? Like the meat lovers or the vegans? So it could be very interesting. And then comes the engagement. So you see all of those likes, right? But likes are cheap. They're cheap. People just scroll and then they leave a like, and it doesn't mean much. But then there are comments, so people actually put some time into it. And reposts, they are really, really valuable, because people actually say, hey, this is valuable enough that I want to share with other people. And if that happens, that LinkedIn loves that. That's the most powerful thing. And the second most powerful thing are saves. So if people actually save your post for later, that's really powerful. Okay. Then we have the broad content trap. So why going viral can actually kill your B2B lead generation. So you can do super broad content, let's say inspirational quotes or something like that, right? So sometimes you scroll for LinkedIn and you see these inspirational quotes or these generic statements, and then and you see 1,000 likes. And you're like, how is this possible? That's such a generic statement, but still, like people still react to that, but everybody reacts to it, and not your ideal customer profile, right? So this might give you a hit from the high engagement numbers, but the problem is that this leads to an audience delusion. So you attract people interested in life hacks, not your B2B automations, for example. So if you're sharing life hacks of like, oh, this is how you can like use tools more efficiently or whatever, but you're selling meat, then it's not gonna work, right? Or you're selling an AI service, but what you're posting about is knitting, right? This new knitting technology or whatever. So that's not going to work. And LinkedIn stops showing your expert content because the engagement drops. Because let's say you get a bunch of football fans through your football posts that you are making, but then you suddenly start posting about AI. So the LinkedIn algorithm sends it first to your very closest fans, so to speak. But if the football fans don't care about AI, then LinkedIn will just think, oh, this is a useless post, right? So because they don't interact with it very much, they don't care about your AI post because they are football lovers. So that's something how you can long-term really hinder your growth and yeah, make your profile work a lot less. So symptoms of that trap would be getting thousands of views, but 0 qualified DMs or connection requests. And that you get drastically less engagement than you would usually get. Or you get a lot of generic comments or so. So how can you make sure that that doesn't happen? So here, yeah, I didn't update the slide. I would go to 40% of total posts to be broad, but I consider broad not being like giga broad, but a little more like broad within your niche. Okay, think of something that is relevant for almost everybody in your niche. That's a good idea to go with. And then when it goes to your profile, I talked about this featured section. Do you know what the featured section is? No? Okay, let me actually. So let me see if I can quickly show you. Okay. I just need to make sure that I'm sharing the right screen. Okay. English. There we are. Okay. So just a second. Stop sharing and moichido. There we are. So what you can do is you can see this part here where it says featured. So you have your activity, which is where your posts are, and you can set up something called featured, where you can have specific posts that you have control over what they are. So they can it's like pinned posts, but not just posts. You can also have links. You can have images in there, those kind of things. Okay. So that's what the featured section is. And this featured section, you can use it to qualify people. Oh, God damn it. Again, the wrong thingy here. One day I will understand how to use this tool. So good. So that was about
or Microsoft will change it.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. So that was about that. And why is LinkedIn such a great tool? So number one is identity plus intent plus outreach equals the perfect B2B storm. So the cool thing is that on LinkedIn, you have a real people around on that platform, right? And they try to be on their best behavior because they don't want to be an asshole on the platform, right? And that's why LinkedIn is so cool, because first of all, you have people, real people, secondly, on their best behavior, and third, who want to do business as well. So they either want a job, or they want to be informed, or they want to purchase, or they want to sell, right? So all of these things are there. And unlike the other platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you see exactly who engaged, the job, the title, the company size, seniority. There's no guessing. On these other platforms, you don't know who you're talking to, right? And that's the really cool thing. And then a like on a niche post isn't just any like, it's a hand raise, right? It signals problem awareness. So if you are posting about how AI is impacting medium-sized marketing agencies, then somebody comments or likes this post, comments underneath or likes this post, that's a sign that this is to a degree relevant to that person. So if you're not contacting that person, the likelihood of them being the right person to talk to is drastically higher than with a generic post or with something on these other platforms like TikTok and so forth. Okay. And the cool thing is you can do instant contextual outreach, right? Which means that you can directly say, hey, thanks for liking my post. I saw that you are also an agency owner, or that you are an agency owner. I see that many agency owners have problem X, and we solve that with our solution Y. Is that something you want to talk about? Or is that something that is relevant for you right now? And suddenly you have a conversation that can lead into a sale that has a super high quality or like a high value. Okay, good. Then I talked about this a little. Looking at the time, I will skip that part. Then copy structure that turns readers into leads. So that's something that I touched on a little bit, but I wanted to go into this a little more. Okay, so there are different types of content that you can post and different types of frameworks that you can use. But what's really powerful is the fact that LinkedIn has the potential to convert people from just readers to actually leads or even clients. And that can happen after multiple months. It can happen instantly. The beauty is it can happen directly because you already have people in your network that you just didn't contact yet. But once you start posting or once you hit the right button, so to speak, they come to you. All right. And that's why it's so powerful to create content. So there are these inside posts. So you have you state the pain. You say why it happens, you give an example of a real scenario, and then you share the lesson. Okay, so what was the lesson of that whole story that you're telling? So this is a little bit of storytelling here. And at the end, you have a call to action. Or this is something that also is really powerful when it comes to selling. So you describe the life with a specific problem. It feels like hell because of A, B, C, D. And your target audience understands all of these things. This is really powerful for coaches specifically, right? So you describe how painful the life was before you found your solution that you are now selling, okay? And then you describe life without all of these problems, without all of these pains. Suddenly it feels like heaven. And then you explain how your solution gets them there. So this is extremely powerful. And when you then say, hey, if you have these problems and you want to finally go to, well, if you live in hell and you finally want to live in heaven, how about we talk? Extremely powerful, right? I mean, nobody wants to live in hell, I assume. Maybe Satan does. Maybe Satan doesn't even want to live there. Maybe he also wants to go to heaven, but he just can't. So then the mini case study, okay? So case studies are so powerful. If you have happy clients, talk about it. Like, even if they say, okay, please don't share our details, you can like blur their names out, just make it broad, like make it change the story a little bit in the sense of like the naming or the numbers, not the numbers, but give it more, make it more broad rather than very specific, so that people could pin down who the client is. But yeah, that's something that is extremely powerful. So who did you work with and what was their goal? What was their big block that they wanted to overcome, the hurdle? How did you fix the problem and what was the outcome? And then at the end, you can share about what you learned throughout this experience. And again, you can also have a call to action here. Okay. So I don't think we have enough time for the exercise, so I'm going to skip over that. Now let's talk about automation. Okay. Because automation is something that, especially with AI, feels more and more easy to achieve and pretty cool. It's fun. I mean, I would rather chill at the beach and drink pina coladas than have to sit in front of a computer and like type stuff. Obviously, I don't. Well, some people still prefer the computer stuff, but the thing is, AI automation gets us there, right? Like step by step, it gets us more there. But the problem with automation is also that it's not personal. So it's not human interaction anymore, which is why LinkedIn is really pushing hard to not have automation on the platform. They are banning people left and right. They are even suing some automation companies now. I'm not sure which one it was. What is it, HeyReach or was it Apollo or something like that? There was like some case going on right now. And this just shows you that you have to be careful with it. So what are the pros of automation? Well, you can do something like scalable follow-ups. You can create or like have a very strong list building. So you can get a lot of people into your onto your profile to connect with them and so forth. You can have sequences, so touch sequences, so low risks, where it's just a profile, view your profile, which triggers curiosity. So this is something that you can do without problems, right? So for example, get 1,000 prospects from Sales Navigator and then put them into automation and have them in a campaign and all of that. There are some really cool tools for that, like Dripify, Lemlist, Condo, for example, even though Condo is not an automation tool, but it's a really good messaging tool. So these are things that it's okay to do to a degree, okay? But there are always these dangers. What some people like to do is to automate everything. So these generic posts, you probably heard them already, right? Hey, first name, I saw you are doing X, Y, and Z. It's really interesting. Oh, you have such a great company. How about like, do you want to work for purchase my product or something like that, right? So you hear these messages and they are annoying, and LinkedIn doesn't like that either. But at the same time, LinkedIn understands that people want to do business on the platform, and automation exists and AI exists and so forth. So they really have they have to balance it. It's not so easy. And the problem is that you can land in LinkedIn jail. You can either get banned entirely, then you can't use your account anymore. You have to like go through many hoops in order to get your account back. Really tricky. It can also just be that you are banned for a week or a few days, or it can be black. What is it, like a shadow ban, where while it looks like you're still posting, but your posts get like 10, 15 impressions or whatever. So these kind of things can happen, and this happens if you are behaving like a bot. So you don't even have to use a bot. You can even just behave like a bot, like copy and pasting the same message to 100 people or so. LinkedIn is going to stop you from it right away. And there is a limit as to how many connections you can do a day, or a week. I think there is a weekly limit of 200 if your account is mature. If your account is new, the limit is drastically lower. With my wife's account, I think we did 50 connections and still hit the limit. But that was because it was a very new account. So if you just start a new account, it's just not so good to go crazy on it. And this can also damage your brand, right? Depending on what your brand is and so forth. So be careful with automations. I personally would love for there to be no automations whatsoever, even though I love AI. But I just think LinkedIn feels like the last human platform on social media in terms of social media. And I would really love for that to stay that way. But yeah, it's just my opinion. Yeah, the golden, I think now we can do a screenshot, right?
Yeah, let's do that then. Okay, so
how about everyone smiles and like thumbs up or something like that? I don't know.
Get my hair.
Look at the hair.
Okay, so if you guys are ready,
let me sorry, Ahmed, let me fix my hair first.
Nice one, Coach Mo. Okay, guys, when you're ready, I'll take the picture. So I'll say 1, 2, 3 and smile. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you so much for everything that you shared. We've learned a ton from you today, and I'm sure the folks here might have more questions. If you guys want to ask more questions, I think we can stick around for maybe 10 more minutes or so to ask Dennis, and then we'll let you go. I'll keep the recording on the Founders community. If you want to get the recording, you can always join my community. I'll share the link in the chat. But let's fire some questions and see who wants to ask questions. Go ahead. I think we have David. You're first. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. So I think what I've realized is that we have it's a scale company, so I do a lot of reposting. But when I look at when I'm reposting, it's not getting a lot of interest because it's about the product. So I've kind of switched over to just talking about myself. To my network, because that's why people are there, right? So when I talk about things and topics and my experiences and things like that, which have nothing to do with work, it's much higher, like
yes.
the dialogue. So is that what you experienced, Dennis?
So there are many different ways as to how you can do LinkedIn, right? And one of them is to just post about something that is generally interesting for many people right now. And this will start a lot of conversations. but not necessarily with the right people. So you can probably get a lot of like old colleagues or friends who are reacting to that and starting conversations with you. And that's a nice feature, right? It's pretty beautiful to get in contact with people that you worked with in the past and like hear what has been going on and so forth. But in the end, if you want to get clients, that's not the way to go. So how we solve that problem is by looking at what is the ICP, what are their specific problems, and what are their interests. And then we create content around what is interesting for your target audience. Because what we want is we want more of your target audience to be on your profile, on your commenting section, leaving likes on your posts. That's what we want to achieve, and that's how we create our visualizations. I didn't even show the visualizations, which is like the thing that we do. That's how poorly I am selling my services here. But I'm not sure if I was supposed to do any selling. I really wanted to just deliver a lot of value, but I still can show you a few of the visualizations that we create just to give you an idea as to what I mean with this. And it really responds to your question. So here, for example, you see we have like visualizations where a lot of things are going on, but they look cool. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are as an example of visualizations that that get people's attention and for people to react. So in my case, I'm selling LinkedIn services, right? So here 4 ways to get leads on LinkedIn, and then that's so much information. Some people read through it, and some people get a lot of value from it, but most people they just go up here and they click save. Okay, and these type of posts they get loads of saves. So this one. Because I just changed my audience from AI to more LinkedIn services kind of thing. It just got 65 likes, but when I post about AI, I easily get 200-300 likes because that's where my followers come from. But here you see, I get 28 saves from it. So that's what I meant with like say you get a lot of saves on these type of posts, and yeah, visualizations are a very nice way to post about something relevant for your target audience that then reacts on your profile.
Okay. I'll ask one follow-up and be quiet. So do you actually spend time on other people's profile posting there, like a mutual respect, so you get their, is it like a tit for tat?
You mean commenting on other people's posts,
Yeah.
or what do you mean?
Yeah, like your target audience. Do you go to those people and show your presence there on their post, like them first and comment to them? Then they'll be more interested to come to your post.
So that's something we tend to do that with other influencers who also own our target audience, because that way we get a portion of their traffic to us, because then so it's this tit for tat what you're talking about is basically happening organically this way. If you are writing on people's posts that are in your field regularly, then they will eventually also comment on your posts. And what you see on LinkedIn is very often Joe Schmo, for example, commented on Max's post, for example, right? You don't know Max, but you know Joe Schmo, and that's how LinkedIn is introducing new people to you through the algorithm. So it definitely makes sense to comment on other people's posts, especially like if they get a lot of audience that you want to attract. But if you want to specifically target the person that you like, let's say you have a few hundred people that you want to target, and whenever they post, you comment on their post. That's how you definitely can get a lot of attention as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Zishan, you're next, and we have like maybe 8 minutes before we need to drop here.
Oh, thanks for this call. So I have a very generic question. So I lay off from one of my company. Actually, I worked for 8 years. So right now I am tailoring my resume as per the JD, but my LinkedIn profile is the same as it is. I know the LinkedIn is like a marketing website for me. It is sharing all the information, what exactly the skills I have. So what is the best practice? Like how can I match my LinkedIn? So for example, if I apply for a QA role, QA lead role, I have a different skill set. I also have a skill set as a product manager. I also have a skill set as a Scrum Master. So how to make the LinkedIn profile generic so recruiter may not feel like somebody is really lying in the resume, even when somebody may have the actual skills.
Okay, so when it comes to getting a job through LinkedIn, I have to admit I'm not the right person. So it's about so the things that I talked about when it comes to the title or your slogan, that doesn't apply to people who want to be found for a job on LinkedIn. That you should have specific titles in your title, like specific job titles or like specific keywords in your title. It shouldn't be like this ICP framework that I showed you earlier. So in your case, where it says Agile Product Delivery Leader and Product Manager, AI and FinTech Innovation, so that is fine, right? Like basically when people search for, when recruiters search for people on LinkedIn, they are mainly doing a tag search or a keyword search. So there you should optimize for the keywords that you want to be found for. And not just in the title, but also in the about section and yeah, like in your experience as well. But other than that, I don't have much experience when it comes to like helping people to get jobs through LinkedIn. That's not my strength. I'm sorry.
That's my area and Coach Mo. So you can
Ahmed, we can take Zishan on the Sunday call. If Zishan, you want to come to the Sunday call, there's questions and answers for that. We can help you answer that one more specific.
100%.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That makes me happy because I have like two perfect like professionals and specialists in that field, so that's really good. So I don't have to like invent anything. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I think who's next? Dawood, then Asif, then Coach Mo.
Hi, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Ahmed, for setting this up. This is my first session attending. This is phenomenal. I really appreciate all your hard work here. Couple of questions. First question is, we are launching a new tech startup next month. So what is your advice? So you said about posting and putting all the posts on the LinkedIn, right? Do we do it through the founder's profile or do we do with the company profile? Profile page. What is a good solution? I don't know. This is the first time we are launching a tech startup. I mean, we did it before, but never used LinkedIn that much. But now this is gonna be this is our new project. Yeah.
My recommendation would be to post on your personal profile, to post on the profile of your co-founder, to post on the profile of another, like of everybody in the team, through their own lens, so to speak. There is I at the beginning of the year, the end of last year, I applied for a job at Vireo. I would recommend you checking those guys out. They are doing all the things right when it comes to that. Let me just quickly show you what I mean. So it's this company. They're building the AI marketer that writes LinkedIn content for every employee at your company. So what they do is, instead of just posting with the Vireo profile itself, they basically do it for many different employees in the company. And by doing that, they push the go-to-market. They can like really push the perception of the product and the whole brand and the whole company and so forth. And this is especially interesting for startups because your social media presence can have a very big impact on your on the funding that you can get from business angels and investors.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Yep. I will look into it, and I'll also try to set up a session with you.
All right. Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Dawood, you're next. Sorry, Asif. Sorry, you're next.
Yeah. Quick. I think some of it is already answered, but then if I'm looking at someone else's profile and I post or view or do something, I think you said it's a good thing. But repost, two-part question. One is a repost. Is it good or not? Number two is, instead of this, I really love this, and these recently it's attracting these pictures. But then how about video? Like if I have some animated video or something, this is AI age, so I can produce a clone and talk about something.
Okay, so there are a few things to unpack. Let's start with the AI video. Again, it's relevance. So if your content has a super high relevance, then you can use AI avatars and those kind of things in order to create it. But if they're not well designed and relevant, then there's no chance, because AI at this point is more of a hindrance in the sense of people not wanting an AI to tell them a story of like an experience or whatever. They want humans to tell their stories. But if it's something that is still relevant and high quality, then people will do it. Like there are super successful YouTube channels, for example, out there who are only doing AI content, but the content is still created with high quality. And AI is just a tool. It's not that they fully rely on AI.
Yeah, sorry, if you allow me, Ahmed, very quick. Like I saw one founder taking a snapshot. Hey, I'm in this airport. I'm trying this food and that food in LinkedIn. Another founder was trying that someone from his employees is interviewing him. So I think what I'm taking from you is really relevance and for the audience. Like I don't like to hear what the other founder is eating, but then what they are telling.
Yes. So something that is either helping you on your journey or giving you some new information that you weren't aware of, or something that is just meaningful, that it really helps you forward in whatever way. It can also be entertaining, but entertainment, like unless you're selling entertainment, it's not necessarily the way to go, but it can be very can perform very well. Yeah. What was your first question? It was
I think my
reposting.
original
Okay.
question you already answered with the image. I was thinking of infographics. Lately, the AI with infographics with so much packed information is my favorite, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a reverse. Probably people like simple thing. I want complex. So
Yeah.
so you already answered that. Thank you.
And the other question was about reposting.
Oh,
I
yes.
personally would not constantly repost other people's content, because it's helping them, but it's not really helping you.
Okay.
So unless you are adding some significant information that is again relevant to that repost, don't do repost, in my opinion. You can repost your own content after a while, but that's more for people who already have a bunch of like followers themselves. So other than that, try to create your own content. You can even I'm not sure how that's something that's now just think of your own content to post. And as I said again, like think of either what is relevant to your audience or what is strengthening the relationship of your network with you, or the trust in you, or like just tell a very powerful story of why you do things, or of something that you recently experienced. People want to read about either experiences or something that actually teaches them something or transforms them.
Thank you.
Okay, Dennis, I may need to leave, but I'll leave the call open. You can, finish up, and then, let everybody take, their questions if you'd like, and then I'll maybe speak to you offline. Thank you so much, Dennis. Again, take care.
Thank you,
Take
Ahmed.
care, everybody.
It was a pleasure. Have a good day.
Coach Mo, go ahead.
Okay, Dennis, I just have you made sorry a statement about the automation, and they just happened to have launched an automation tool called Be Visible. I've shared it on the chat, and based on a personal success story with automation, I had a LinkedIn account that I started with almost 500, 600, and within 6 months it went to 28,000.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always share this success story. Now, mind you, that was what was a little bit also for the honesty in the old days when LinkedIn was not fully alert. But LinkedIn automation or any tool, I consider it like anything you have at home, like any tool. You can have a knife, you can peel oranges, or you can kill somebody. So it's about managing the tool, not the tool itself. So when the tools are within tight policies of LinkedIn, and it has the control to say, well, I am going to do like 20 to 30 invitations a day, not 100, not 150, right? Because I've seen somebody in my coaching that I was telling him to network even on LinkedIn. The guy seems to have like pasted so many messages after one another manually, and he got banned by LinkedIn for a couple of days. So even if he was doing it manually but doing it the wrong way, it still didn't fly. So there is systems out there, and I'm not going to be shy to promote Be Visible with everybody here because I know the topic is that, but there is controls on like how many messages you send a day, how many connections manage a day, and if you manage it in a way and send messages like a drip campaign every second day or a third day, you send a message, it really brings good result. It makes a better reach. Now, one thing you probably nobody talks about, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, that works again is the ban, that most people invite people on LinkedIn, but they don't withdraw the lingering connections. This is a very crucial aspect, that you must keep your pending connections under 500, ideally under 300.
I just recently had to do that because I had 1,200, and
yeah.
How would you do it? Is there some setting or?
You can. It's in your settings when you go to connections to your network, and then you go to connections, I believe.
Okay, somewhere I can explore.
That's fine. Invitations, and you go to the sent one. You have like received and you have sent, and you will see them in the sent, and it will tell you the numbers. Now, for example, in Be Visible, we actually set the deletion per day. So you can say, withdraw 50 every day. If you're inviting 50 and then you say withdraw, blah, blah, blah. So it's also withdraws automatically to keep you under the limits. And I also have other ways to do it manual. Like, for example, in my Coach Mo account, I discovered that I have 600 and I usually try to keep them under the 500. So I have something called a data loader tool that I picked up coincidentally working on Oracle, because you used to work on Oracle too. So I spent 25 years working in the Oracle space. So we have something called data load, which you use to mimic keystrokes and all the stuff. I also use that to kind of like mimic the clicks of withdraw, and it will ask you if you withdraw, it's going to be 3 weeks until you invite them again. So you say yes, yes twice, and it keeps doing that mimic stroke so that I can, I bust like 50 withdrawals in like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, something like that.
Okay. That's also inhuman behavior, right? To get that many withdrawals.
Mimic keystrokes, mimic keystrokes, like I give 1 second break, 2 second breaks, but instead of me doing it like that, I just set the thing and it works on the screen, and I'm just monitoring that it doesn't break for any reason. Yeah, my recommendation is really like if your LinkedIn profile is big enough and makes like plays an important role in your whole business, I would be really cautious with automations. I would still, like, you can experiment with them, and if you don't have problems, you can like race slowly. But then once you get a yellow card from well, you're not playing soccer or anything, right? So once you get a warning, like I would go back, like reduce drastically or not do it for a substantial time. So I love automations. As I said, I have built my own like scrapers and all of that, but not using scrapers with my own I like cookie and I own profile, but like scraping likes and comments from my posts that then make it easier for me to then also like qualify people directly with an AI. But yeah, like still I wouldn't want to risk my personal profile. As I said, like 170,000 followers, you don't want to like mess things up. But if you have a small account, it's not a problem. That amount, you're more cautious or more, your risk tolerance is less. But I've been using automations on LinkedIn for the last maybe 8 years, and I didn't get banned at all. With
okay, nice.
Even tools that are not mine, like even before Dropify, there was things like, have you heard about something called Ulink?
No.
Something like that, something similar to Dripify and the others that come after. But I've been using LinkedIn on automations for like probably 10 years now.
Okay.
The early adopters or the early ones
Nice.
who built the automations.
Very good. All right. Are there any other questions? Anything else?
Dennis, I sent you a request and also a message for some of my projects, like how I'm not sure about how you are helping and what is the mode, so you can apply there.
Okay. Yeah, I will respond to your guys' messages tomorrow, because for me it's already 7:30 in the evening.
Sure.
And my wife is already waiting at home, so I'm fine to still reply to a few questions here in this call, but LinkedIn will have to wait until tomorrow morning.
So I can tell, basically, I'm just curious of how you are helping on the projects. If you have a minute, then we can.
Yeah. So what we do is we optimize the profile first, as I said, after we fully understand the ICP. So actually, we fully understand the ICP and the product or service that you're selling. And once we understood that, then we are optimizing your profile based on that. And then we start creating the content. So the content are these visualizations. That's really our strength. And it's just a way, it's just our vehicle, so to speak, to get a lot of traction and get people. And then what we also do is we create conversion content, but not as often as I was saying, because it usually requires a lot of extra work, meaning we create lead magnets. So a lead magnet is basically something that people want for you. You offer something to them like a PDF, where like a checklist or a PDF where people can learn a bunch of things, like a small ebook, so to speak, almost. And we prepare those for our clients as well. And we use those as lead magnets, where people then can comment underneath the post to get that lead magnet. And this kind of thing works very well to generate leads. So not just followers and likers, but actual people who out themselves as being interested in the topic, which is brilliant. So it's really powerful to convert people that way.
You didn't touch on Apollo today, right? So I mean, I've been taking a crack at stuff like this myself, right? So I did get somebody got a hold of me. I don't know how they got a hold of me, and I'm very friendly. I'll talk to anybody about anything. Yeah, let's do it for a few minutes and see where it goes. So somebody called me a month ago asking if they could, they made me a proposal that they would use a team to generate leads by doing 20 calls a month, and then they link me into the call once they got them teed up for me to talk to them. And I'm like, no, that's not interested in that type of person service to talk about what I do, which you guys don't understand what I do, right? So I don't need you to to bother me throughout the day, week, jump on a call, however that works, right? So I say no, thank you. So I'm much more interested in the LinkedIn, LinkedIn Apollo, looking up LinkedIn contact, getting email addresses, doing scheduling, doing the cadence of call versus how that works on Apollo, right? So that whole area is very complicated, and I would strongly recommend people working with people like you, and not maybe it's an age thing, but I get the flow, but I know I like what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So what I have encountered through being a content person or delivering content on LinkedIn is how nice it is to talk to people who have seen your content. So it's I have this specific story in mind. So there was this guy who saw my content and wanted to talk to me. So he gave me his number, and I called him, and he was so like his energy was very negative, and he was really like almost angry, you could say. Wow, it felt like, why are you calling me? What do you want? I don't know you, like, because I have a German number, right? And he was like, why would a German number call me? And then I said, yeah, I'm Denis Panjuta, and suddenly he was so friendly. Like he was like, it was like he switched like there was a switch that was hit, and suddenly he was the friendliest person, and we had a really good conversation. And that's what content does to you, right? People have a lot of trust in you. They already know you a little bit just through your content, and it creates this parasocial relationship where people like they don't know you, but they feel like they know you, and then they're a lot more positive, and they already like they know what you do already the moment you start talking to them. So you don't have to convince them of your solution. You don't have to like talk about your solution forever, and they know you, they know your solution. They're the best buyers. It's really fun. So that's what content does to you. It's beautiful. I mean, it really makes most sense in B2B. In B2C, I think it's really hard because like you need big numbers in order to convert in B2C. But if your deal size is a few thousand or like even tens of thousands of dollars, then yeah, LinkedIn is just perfect. It's the way to go, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dennis, you said I know you're not very proponent of the LinkedIn automation, especially at this side. But what's your thought about content automation, right? Like because now people are using AI. I'll tell you my personal opinion. I don't like it. I don't like AI running the content. Because it's just getting generic stuff, and it's not a subject matter expert. It's just like fluff talk and whatever the AI is piecing together. But what do you think about people automating from content to video and all this stuff, even from idea generation? Like some people would start at research topics, and then based on the research topic, they will do automation all the way until a post even, right? So what do you think about these things, and does it harm the brand, or does it actually boost the brand?
So I personally, as I said, I love AI. I hate and love AI. I have a hate-love relationship because it already killed one business in the past that I was running. So it might also kill my current business at one point. But I feel like we're not at the point yet. And I totally agree with you that the problem is not so much that the AI wouldn't be capable of doing it. It's just about that the human controlling the AI still needs to have a lot of background knowledge and understanding of many different aspects. So on one hand, the content itself, like the topic itself, but on the other hand, also what type of content works and what not. So in my team, I have somebody who is like approving 10,000 posts a year. 10,000, right? For the questions, for the great time. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. And now, even like in the small round, it's pretty cool. Yeah, as you said, I would have loved to like